is a special day, and of course, it's another Tuesday of the 24th day in the 8th month of the new year. That is the year 2020. But of course, the year is still new until we pick another one. So, until we get to December, the year is still very new. We are welcoming you to the Gallery TV newspaper review this morning. As we do it for you, the first thing we do is to give you the details of the paper that we have for you this morning. Then we go to the major headlines, above the major headline, and of course, everything that it contains in the pages of newspapers for this morning. Today, Tuesday, August 24, 2021. My name is Abajide Ekundayo. Let's go to what we have for you. Firstly, we have the Punch. We go to what we have for you on the pages of the Daily Sun. We have Nigerian Tribune. We have The Nation. The Guardian is here. And of course, we'll be ending today with Daily Independent. Just sit back, relax, as we go through the pages of the Punch together. Of course, the major headline on the front page of the Punch this morning says, Petroleum Industry Act loopholes. 36 states set up 6-member panel. Plan amendments. Committee members, Delta, Osun, Imo, Plateau, Borno, Jigawa, Finance Commissioners, state governments to forward proposed amendments to PIA Implementation Committee. The full story is captured on page 2 as written by the Punch this morning. Above the major headline of the Punch this morning, strike continues. NARD insists and Scott's order suspension. The full story is also on the second page of the Punch. FG, ASU, VIFA on delay 30 billion revitalization fund. The full story is on page 7 of the Punch. Secondus attack Wike. Rivers Court suspends PDP chair. Get the full story as published by the Nigerian Tribune, by the Punch this morning, and of course it's on the 11th page of the Punch. Anchor borrowers, CBN incur 379 billion debt. Farmers battery security. The full story is on the Punch this morning, and you can get to read it on page 19. Below the major headline of the Punch this morning, COVID-19, oxygen usage now 400 cylinder daily, says Sanwo-Olu. The full story is on page 7 as captured by the Punch this morning. Group blames federal government as Saudi Arabia recruits Nigerian doctors. The full story is also on page 7 of the Punch this morning. Land grabbers, 5 killed, many injured in Lagos, Ogun attacks. The full story is on page 4. You can get the balance of the story on page 5 of the Punch this morning. This story on page 29 is talking about cholera. Bauchi records highest cases. Disease kills 1,768 in FCT and also 23 states. The full story is on page 29. Of course, still on the pages of the Punch this morning, Lagos artisan allegedly beat 7-year-old son to death over fish. The full story is also on page 4. Can get the balance on page 5. PIA, host community fund payment begins August 2022. The full story is also on the second page of the Punch this morning. Let's go to what we have on the Daily Sun. The major headline on the Daily Sun this morning, today, Tuesday, 24th August 2021, says, more trouble for Secondus. Court restrained him from parading as PDP national chairman. The full story is on page 3. Still on the Daily Sun. Cholera deaths rise to 1,768. Get a full story on page 28 of the Daily Sun this morning. Don't impose cattle grazing on states. Tambuwa tells Buhari. The full story is on page 7. Let's go to what we have on below the major headline of the Daily Sun this morning. Court orders striking doctors to resume work. Ruling will not affect implementation of MOU in Gige. The full story is on page 4 of the Daily Sun this morning. Robbers killed 2 policemen, injured others in Kogi. The full story is on page 6, and of course, balance the story on page 28 of the Daily Sun this morning. We lost 85 members, 3,141 houses in Plateau. Christian groups, 6 sacks of GOC. All these are captured on the page 6 and of course on page 28 of the Daily Sun this morning. Blackouts in Lagos, Ogun, others as electricity grid collapses. The full story is on page 28. OML 11. Ogoni leaders vow not to allow Shell to return. Get the full story on page 27. He said, we are ready to begin exploration, development of community, NPDC. All these are captured on the page 27 of the Daily Sun this morning. Again, Southeast residents defy sit-at-home suspension. Total compliance in Abia, Imo, Ebonyi, Enugu. Hoodlums, traders clash in Onitsha. The full story is on page 8 as captured by the Daily Sun this morning. Let's go to what we have on the Nigerian Tribune. The major headline on the Nigerian Tribune talking about COVID-19 third wave. Lagos records 135 deaths. 13 died in Osun in 1 week. The full story is on page 2. Still on the COVID-19 third wave. Over 400 oxygen cylinders used daily. That's coming from the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. Edo makes vaccination compulsory. All these are captured on the second page of the Nigerian Tribune as published today, Tuesday, 24th August 2021. And above the major headline of the Tribune, court restrains Secondus from parading as PDP chairman. The full story is on page 3. 2023, Nigeria needs detribalized, incorruptible leaders. 2023, this is coming from Tambua. It said Nigeria needs detribalized, incorruptible leader. The full story is on the page 23 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Court orders striking doctors to suspend strike. We have got no such order. NARD reacts. The full story is also on page 3 as captured by the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Why I told citizens to carry arms against bandits. That is coming from Masari. Get the full story on page 31 of the Tribune. Osun APC crisis. Police arraign Aregbesol's associates for assault. The full story is on page 3 as captured by the Nigerian Tribune this morning. No going back on ban on open grazing. Akeredolu. The full story is on page 8. Let's go to what we have below the major headline this morning. OML 11. We won't allow Shell return to our land. Ogoni leaders tells NPDC. The full story is on page 6 as captured by the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Just crisis, Ekiti, Enugu evacuate stranded students from Unijos. The full story is also on page 8. EFCC arrests 37 suspected internet fraudsters in Ibadan. Get the full story on page 27. Again, residents desert streets in Enugu, Imo, Anambra, brace up against IPOB, IGP tells police. The full story is on page 31, as captured by the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Nigerian lacks record on actual petroleum products consumed daily, PEF. Reps move to probe oil marketers, smuggled petroleum products. The full story is on page 7, as captured by the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Let's go to what we have for you on The Nation. The Nation this morning, the major headline says, PDP crisis takes new twist with Secondus suspension. Rivers Court asks national chairman, Jagede Obi, Bode George for chairmanship race. The full story is captured on the front page of the Nation. Get it? Is on the front page of the Nation. Above the major headline this morning of the Nation, court orders government striking doctors to halt hostilities. The full story is on page 5. On page 29 of the Nation this morning, APC secretary, ex-commissioners arraigned in court, charged with assault. The full story is on page 29. Youth dominates INEC online voters registration. Page 3 of the Nation has the story. Buhari governors orders mourn Aguiyi Ironsi's widow. The full story is also on page 3 as captured by the Nation this morning. 222 die of COVID-19 in Lagos, Ondo, Osun, Ekiti. Vaccination begins in Lagos tomorrow. Edo imposes restrictions. The full story is on the front page of the Nation. Get the balance on page 4 as captured by the Nation this morning. Federal government targets tax raise in 2022 to freeze borrowing. Federal government targets tax raise in 2022 to freeze borrowing. The full story is on the front page of The Nation. Get a balance on page 4 of The Nation. 5 Fed killed in land grabbers invasion of Lagos Ogun communities. The full story is on page 6, as captured by The Nation paper this morning. Let's go to what we have for you on The Guardian. The major headline on The Guardian this morning says, $1 billion operational costs push private jet owners into bankruptcy. The full story is on the front page of the Guardian this morning. I can get the full story on page 2. It said only 46 private jets are active. Others scramble for survival. Over 45 aircraft inactive. 13 custom duty defaults. Owners boycott aviation rules to operate foreign registered jets locally. NCAA's new regulations will close gaps. Tackle illegal operation, DG says. All these are captured on the front page of The Guardian this morning. And you can get to complete the story on the second page of The Guardian as published this morning. Below the major headline of The Guardian, doctors insist on strike as court refuses FG's request. The full story is on the front page of The Guardian. You can complete the story on the second page. Let repentant terrorists face the law. That is on the editorial page of The Guardian this morning. You can get to read it on page 16. That is the editor's opinion of The Guardian this morning. Court restrains Secondos from parading himself as PDP chair member. The news story is on page 3 as published by The Guardian this morning. Gunmen kill 4, abduct 15 in Zamfara. The full story is on page 5. Cholera claims 72 lives, infects 2,984 in 1 week. The full story is also on page 5 of The Guardian this morning. Plenty Waka acquires Stables Ghana after 1.2 million seed funding. The full story is on the business page and is captured on page 22 of The Guardian this morning. Above the major headline of The Guardian, this morning. Okay, let's go to what we have on the Daily Sun. There's no story on the above the major headline of The Guardian. The major headline on the Daily Sun, this Daily Independent this morning. On the Daily Independent this morning, of course, that's going to be our last review for today. The major headline says, Tambuwa advises Buhari against grazing reserves. Asks him to resuscitate them only where people are interested. Says Nigeria needs a nationalist, not tribalist, as a leader in 2023. All these are captured on the front page of Daily Independent. I can get it to get the balance of the story on page 4, as captured by the Daily Independent this morning. Above the major headline of the Daily Independent this morning, court restrains Secondus from parading himself as PDP national chairman. The full story is on the front page of the Daily Independent, and you can get a balance on page 4. OML 11. Ogoni community vows to resist return of Shell. The full story is on page 30, as captured by the Daily Independent this morning. So let's go to have for you below the major headline of Daily Independent this morning. Court reps rejects custom 1.3 trillion naira 2022 projection, insists on 3 trillion naira. The full story is on page 4. Gunmen kill 4, abduct 15 in Zamfara community. The full story is also on page 4. Dr. Congo officials harass Nigeria diplomat, boggles embassy. The full story is also on page 4. Agunyi Rosie widow's death has created vacuum in committee of ex-first lady, federal government, Buhari Uzodinma, mourn Okpara's widow. All these are captured on page 5 of Daily Independence this morning. NCC rakes in 358 billion naira from spectrum sales in 2 years. The full story is also on the front page of the Daily Independent this morning. I can get the balance on page 30. Owerri, Enugu, Abakaliki, Onitsha Street deserted despite seats at home suspension. The full story is also on page 5 as captured by Daily Independent this morning. So that's all we have for you on the Gallery TV newspaper review this morning. Do join us by 12 o'clock for news updates, and of course by 4 o'clock for other news updates as it happens around the world. Please do well to join us across our social media platform, on our Facebook, Instagram, on our website, The Gallery TV. Thank you for joining us. I'm Babajide Ekundayo. Do have a wonderful day. Bye for now.